Good morning. Happy Monday. Today is the third week of #December Weekly. This is an open, well, not really open. Anyone can join in, but the original collaborators are, I will list them below in my description box. It is an open collaboration for anyone to join in and post on every Monday in December about your memories or events or special things that you did that previous week that you want to remember and journal. And so I will link the host in the description box as well as the other collaborators. The host is Jovi at Creating with Jovi, and so if you'd like to go check that out, that would be awesome. But today is the third week of the collab, and next Monday, the day after Christmas, will be the last. And so I'm kind of doing, chronicling my Christmas memories in these. Everyone's doing something a little bit different, but I wanted to show how I journal most of the time, and that's mainly chronicling memories from my childhood that I want to record for posterity. And so I will say that the theme of this week is gifts, and it talks about Santa Claus. And so if you have little ears in the room and you would rather not hear me talk about Santa Claus and, finding out things about Santa Claus, you might want to not have this playing if your children are listening. I just wanted to put that disclaimer out there, and part of it is because of my story and how I found out things about Santa Claus and don't want to dare ruin that for anyone else's children. So I wanted to put that out there first. But really, the whole meaning of Christmas gift giving is it starts again with the baby Jesus being born as the ultimate gift to the world. And then it is further, emphasized when the wise men or the magi came to visit Mary and Joseph and brought baby Jesus gifts. And so that's one of the reasons why we give gifts. And my dog is having a sneezing fit. I'm sorry. You okay? So yes, we give gifts for those reasons. And I love giving gifts now that I'm older and I'm an adult. But I, as a kid, loved receiving gifts. And that includes gifts from family and friends, and also, of course, Santa Claus. So that's kind of what I want to remember today in my journaling. Let me find a good layout first, if I can. I'm going to see if I can find a 2-page spread for this one. There's Rudolph. Make sure you guys can see. Let's see, I don't know if I have a 2-page blank spread without something in the middle like that. Let's see. We'll keep flipping. I probably should have done this part first before the camera came on, but I guess if it's journal with me, I guess this is included in part of it, because part of journaling is figuring out where you're going to journal. This would work if it weren't for this real thin page right here. I'm going to do a little collage, and so I don't want it to be super flimsy paper so it won't get all bumpy. This might be good. He's taking up a good part of this page, but keep looking. I think I cut him out of a Christmas card. You know what? I think this might be it. I think we'll use this page as our collage base. Since we have angels on that side, I don't mind covering up this, and then we'll do some pockets or tuck spots on this side. Okay, so just like before, I'm gonna start off by showing some photos, because I normally like to journal on the back of photos, and I'll probably do that off camera, but part of the way I do things on this collab is sharing a little bit about my memories and stories. And I love hearing y'all's stories. So in the comment section below, I would love to hear your favorite stories about Santa or gift giving. So first, this is a picture. It's actually from my mom's childhood. This is a picture of what Santa brought for her when she was probably 3. So that toy box that's sitting right there is actually still around. It was in my grandparents' attic, and when I found out I was gonna have a baby boy, I decided to do his nursery in classic toys. And so I asked my grandparents if I could have this toy box for his room, and they gave it to me, and now my mom has it back. But it is not a very child-safe toy box. It's all wood, and there's no safety catch or anything, so when the lid fell down, it slammed down, and I remember several times hearing that slam, and then our son would cry. He never got hurt on it, thankfully, but looking back, I should have put a safety catch on it. But there's a little elephant. It's like a little circus scene. And then she had an ironing board and a little kitchen. She still has this kitchen. And I think this is like a little tea set or dishes set. And then here's a baby cradle and a baby doll. And as you can see, that Eastern red cedar that my grandpa always liked to put up, and then it's got tinsel, which I love. And you can't ignore that beautiful television set in the corner. And it looks like they just taped their Christmas cards on the wall. So that's fun. Okay, so these are not in any order, but these are just pictures of a few of my favorite gifts. This was a little play piano made by a company called Jamar. I'm sure you've seen these. They're like a little mini upright piano, and it came with this little stool. So adorable, and it's actually really funny. A lot of the music artists today, more of like electronic music or like down tempo, low tempo. I'm not really sure of all the ways that people categorize music now. It's just overwhelming. I just think, country, jazz, rock. But I will hear this piano in sampled riffs, and it's really funny because it's like they went and found a Jamar piano and they're using that in their music. But I don't have this anymore. I'm pretty sure I beat this thing to its death. I hammered away on it, and that is part of why I wanted to take piano later. I still play piano and I love it. Here's a picture of me with I think this might be a Fisher-Price stroller, I don't know, but sitting in it is this little doll named Happy Baby. I'm pretty sure that's Happy Baby. I also had a doll named Jennifer. I don't think I named Happy Baby anything but Happy Baby, but when you threw her up in the air, she giggled, and I'm pretty sure that's who that is. She had a beautiful little blue bow, and evidently I'm feeding her something. This is the Christmas that I was 6 years old, I think, and I had a record player, so as you can see, I had a Sesame Street. I think this is just children's songs, and I had 2 Strawberry Shortcake records. I still have all of these. This one actually got warped, but I have replaced it since then with one from eBay. And then I have a Easy Bake Oven and a Snoopy Snow Cone Maker. I feel like those are like the essential toys of the early 80s. I caught my Easy Bake Oven on fire one time by, I think I tried to make grilled cheese in it and the cheese touched the light bulb and it started smoking. I don't know if I was able to recover it or not. I guess that's why they make special pans and mixes for those. So this is at my grandparents' house. We spent several Christmases here. I live in the house now, but a lot of my Christmases were spent here, and I'm opening something, and I have a Barbie fashion case. And this doll back here is named Mary. I don't know why I named her Mary, but my mom made her for me. And I'm pretty sure it was given to me as a gift from my parents, not from Santa. Just because I think I kind of had an inkling she was working on it. How can you hide making that, But I was looking through some magazines that I found at an estate sale, and look what fell out. This is from a pattern catalog, and it is advertising this pattern. Life-size doll with camisole, simplicity, child size 4. And so there's Mary. Mary did not make it either. She was all cloth, and she was carried around by me and drugged the ground a lot. So she did not make it into my toys that I passed down to my kids, but I have fond memories of Mary. And then here is me with my stocking. I still have the stocking. It is in super rough shape, but I love it. And I got a basket for my tricycle and the ironing board. And I think I see Lincoln Logs back there and a Viewmaster. Do you guys remember those footed pajamas? They always felt so itchy. Like the plastic would bother my feet. And then this is, I might have 2 pictures of this. Yes. So the Christmas I turned 4, my dad built me a dollhouse from a kit. And actually, I was in their room snooping for Christmas presents, and I opened their closet and I saw this house sitting in there, and I started crying. And I did not tell my parents that I had seen it. And I kept that secret for probably 3 more years. So, but I love this house. Here's a picture of the inside. We took it outside. My dad wanted to get realistic pictures of it, but the sun is coming through, and there's a little fireplace down there, and he actually wired it, and it was lit up. And inside the fireplace, he put one of those translucent red Legos. So when the light was on in the fireplace, it looked like it had a little red ember fire, which was super creative. We didn't have a lot of money to spend on furniture, so a lot of the furniture he built or made himself. And these little rugs he made using wallpaper sample books. He would just cut like patterns off of brocade, and you know, I don't really know what those designs are called, but the little stripes made with flowers, and then he painted a fabric base and glued all these down. So my dad was basically junk journaling years before I was using wallpaper to create things. And then this is just another picture of me at Christmas with the little Tomy clock to teach you how to tell time, and a Jack-in-the-Box. And I think that's Mickey Mouse Clubhouse with Weebles. Do you guys remember Weebles? And then here's a picture of me wearing some metal roller skates. I didn't know they still made these when I was a kid, but evidently they did. And they strapped onto your shoes with buckles. And my grandma is helping me here on their very slick carport, try to learn how to ride them. Hold on, I need to pause my music. I didn't realize it was going. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so because we're talking about gifts, I wanted to do like a little collage of gift wrap. So I have a variety of gift wrap here. Some of it's vintage, some of it is, you know, I've bought the past few years. But I just have little scraps of gift wrap that I thought I would collage as a background for journaling. This beautiful gold foil. I went to a estates, it was called a yard sale, but it was basically an estate sale about 1.5 years ago. Oh my goodness. I still call it the gold mine yard sale because I found so many awesome things. One of which was a tote full of vintage gift wrap. And a lot of this is from that. And a lot of the gift wrap was that kind that you would order from school children, like the little fundraisers. I never did really great at those. I wasn't a pushy salesperson. My glue stick is just going all over the place today. I never really did, I was never one of the top selling kids. I think I had like 5 or 6 sales total, but I do remember the people were talking about how high quality the gift wrap was, and now that I'm an adult and know what that means, I have to say that I agree. It's very thick. This is some gift wrap that I got in Happy Mail from Cindy. Super psychedelic. So of course we will have to use a piece of that. Okay, we'll put that on the edge here. I wish I had actual paper from my childhood, but my grandma had a tote of wrapping paper left in the attic here. When we went up in the attic and cleaned stuff out, we found it. But sadly, most of it was not, it wasn't really vintage. It was mostly from the 90s and 2000s. But I remember thinking, oh my goodness, what if I open this and there's like Charlie Brown Christmas paper or something. Now, I will say my grandparents were very frugal, as most people were, you know, post-war, World War II, Greatest Generation. And so a lot of years, our presents, especially the large presents, were wrapped in funny papers, which most people call them comics, like the Sunday comics that are color. You probably had to double up layers on that if you could read on the box what the item was. But it was a great inexpensive way to cover something large. They also used to wrap with tissue paper. Did any of y'all's grandparents do that? It was always so exciting because it was so easy to rip into and get into. It wasn't like all this drama to unhook everything and get all the tape. It literally just melted off so you could open your presents super fast. But again, you would have to do probably double or triple layer it to not see through it. Okay, what else do I have here? I have, ooh, this might be cool. I have some tissue paper that would be, I guess, more translucent, but it has poinsettias on it. And I love poinsettias. I've been kind of holding on to that piece for a while. Let's see. Oh, look kind of cool with the words coming through. So, I'll talk while I'm crafting. I mentioned in a previous video that my grandpa loved Christmas and he loved making Christmas magical for us, for his kids and grandkids. And so one of the things that I remember him doing was, I guess the best way to put it would be egging me on. Try to get me revved up and excited about Christmas when it was time to go to bed, which I'm sure my mom loved. But we would be here spending the night on Christmas Eve a lot, not every year, but we were here a good bit. And I would be, you know, had my bath, got my PJs on, my footed PJs on, getting ready to go to bed. And one year in particular, I was probably 5 or 6, probably at the age where Christmas was the most exciting to me, as far as like waiting on Santa. And my mom was trying to get me settled and into bed. And he said, "Meg, come here, you need to see this." And he took me over to the window and opened the curtains, and up, way up high in the trees behind the house was this red light. Now I know what it was. It was some sort of a transformer or something on a power pole. And it was, I don't remember if it was a solid red light or if it was blinking. But obviously I was 5. I probably didn't spend a lot of time looking out the window at power poles. So I had never noticed it before. And he said, "I'm pretty sure he's already here. I think that's Rudolph, which means Santa is waiting out there for you to get in the bed and go to sleep. And if you don't do it fast, he might leave." And so, I don't know if he threatened me with leaving, but he basically just said, "They're right out there and they're waiting for you to get in the bed, so you better do it." And I jumped in the bed as fast as I could and put the covers over my head. But of course, after he said that, what do you think happened? Do you think I went to sleep? No. I was just giggling and laughing and saying, "Mama, Mama, Santa Claus is outside." And she was like, "Yes, that means you need to go to sleep." And then Grandpa would ask me more questions to get me more hyped up. But Mom said that I was literally trembling with excitement. Like, can you imagine, like, do you remember when you would get that excited about something, like the anticipation of something? I still get very excited, more so than most people, about lots of things. In fact, part of what makes my life worthwhile is just having this sense of wonder and joy and anticipation all the time. I think that's why I have such joy, because I'm always looking and expecting big things. So I kind of haven't lost that, but I guess when you're 5 years old and your mom and dad need you to go to sleep so they can, you know, work on stuff, Santa can do his thing. That's not really what you want your kid to do. But so this was actually in that tote that my grandma had. This is a envelope, and I don't know what was on here before. I think it has her name and someone else's name, and they had scribbled it out, and she repurposed this American Greetings envelope, and this is where she kept her tags. And so I'm going to clip this in here because it is precious to me, and I'll do that at the end. Even though it's pink, it's what she used for her Christmas tags, and it has her handwriting on it, which was, my grandma had pretty messy handwriting, but I love it anyway. That's what she kept her little gift tags in, and I have a little digital gift tag here that I'll tuck in to remember that. So I think I really don't want to do anything with this to mess it up, so I'm just going to fold this and tuck it into a pocket, and I think I might do this pocket because I already have it made and it's easy. This is one of my little end cut sewn together pockets. Let me find my Fabri-Tac. This way I can tuck in all of these things once I journal on the back of it, and it fits perfectly on these pages. 3.5 by 5 is probably my most commonly sized pockets that I make because they fit in almost any journal that I make, and they're the size of an index card, so you can use an index card as a template when you're cutting these out. As my Fabri-Tac gets older, I find that it doesn't stick as fast, and I have to work longer to hold it down. I don't know if y'all have noticed that before. I hope that's just because I bought it about 8 months ago. I hope it's not that the formula is changed because I love Fabri-Tac, and I just feel like this last bottle that I've bought has been much harder to get to stay. But it is still my glue of choice when I'm gluing down pockets and tuck spots. Not just because tacky glue, I feel like, takes longer to dry. I feel like this just holds. I feel like this would hold through a hurricane, you know? And I love that you can use it on things, not just fabric. It is pricier, but honestly, like I said, I bought this about 7 or 8 months ago. A large bottle, excuse me, and I've refilled this one twice. So, I mean, it goes semi-fast, I guess, but okay, so here's Mary. Let me find the picture of Mary again. So a lot of my Christmas stories involve dollhouses. This was the first dollhouse that I ever had. And I literally played with this until it fell apart. I mean, I'm serious. The 3-story section came completely detached from the 2-story section. And it was not just for me playing with it. We also moved a lot. My dad was in the Army. And so obviously it's hard to move stuff like this, and you can't put this in a box. And so we ended up having to toss it when I was probably 15 or so. But about the same, well, no, I was younger than this. I wanted to get into miniatures. I didn't want it to be called dollhouses because I was about 11 or 12, and you know, I was getting too old for playing with dolls. But I was very interested in miniatures, and I used to love to go to stores that sold dollhouses. So for Christmas, I think sometime that summer, I asked my mom and if she would buy me a dollhouse kit and let me put it together with Grandpa, because we had done one together previously, like a small, 4-room dollhouse, and I had so much fun doing it. I wanted her to buy me a large kit And Mom was like, no, I'm not going to just buy that in the middle of the summer. Maybe you can get a kit for Christmas and you and Grandpa can build it. Well, that Christmas, I think I was 11. You know, I'd asked for certain, you know, little things here and there, but nothing in particular. And a dollhouse kit was on my list, but nothing more. And when I walked into the living room that Christmas morning, my mom has it on video, but I didn't want to put that video online because it has other people in it. But I walked into the living room and I just stopped and dropped what I had in my hands and put my hands on my mouth. That dollhouse, there was a dollhouse that I had wanted the kit for. It was sitting in the middle of our living room, completely built. Lights on, everything. My grandpa had bought that kit and spent 6 or 8 months putting it together and wiring it for me. And looking back now, I remember my mom asking me, sort of trying to be clever about it. She would say, oh, if you were to get a dollhouse kit, what colors would you paint the dollhouse? I mean, like, do you have like an idea of like what colors you might like? And I was like, this is weird, but okay. And I said, yeah, I've already decided that I want a beige house with dark green trim. You can tell it was the early 90s. And that's what color he had painted it. It was a cream colored house, and it was Victorian. It was a Queen Anne style, and it had dark green trim. And unfortunately, I do not have a good photo of that dollhouse. Every picture is in the background, like behind me and my friends and my sister and all that. But I do still have that dollhouse, and it's in the attic, and it needs repairs. But at some point, you know, when life slows down, I would love to go up in the attic and get it down and restore it. I do know that the wiring has completely come apart and like us detached from the house, so that will be a project by itself, but I think it'd be super cool to do that. But all the original floors, carpet, wallpaper, all that my grandpa picked out is still inside, and it's all that early 90s country blue and mauve pink and stuff like that. So a lot of my Christmas stories involve dollhouses, and I still love dollhouses. In fact, I know Pam Van E also does dollhouses and miniatures on the side. Hey, Pam. And I think it'd be so fun to just like get together with another dollhouse enthusiast and like work on dollhouse stuff together, furniture or whatever. One of my favorite things to do was to use the Fimo or Sculpey clay, the kind that you would bake in the oven. I would make little tiny foods, because if you know anything about miniatures, you know they're not cheap. And so I wanted, you know, the turkey, and I wanted the layer cakes, and I wanted the cupcakes and pancakes. And Mom was like, I'm not buying all of those. I'm not paying more for a half-inch stack of pancakes than I would a real stack of pancakes at a restaurant. So she said, here, I'll buy you some Sculpey and you make your own. And so my sister and I would do that. We would make our own food and bake it and paint it. And you learn tricks like using clear nail polish to make things look shiny, like make it look like it has liquid in it. Super fun. I still geek out about dollhouses and miniatures, but I will put this picture of Mary in here with this, and then I think I might put I think I might make a tuck spot here with Santa. Let's round this corner. And this is the side that I'll talk about all my other gifts, including my dollhouses. I bought and put together a dollhouse for my daughter, but she just never really got into dolls at all. She was more of a stuffed animals and plastic animals and stuff like that kind of kid. So I also still have her dollhouse in the attic. But it sure was fun to build. I love working on those. So I always joke with people, I've never built a house to live in, but I've built like 3 of them. They're just too small to live in. I had a funny picture and I forgot to print it out. My dollhouse that my grandpa made for me, I have a picture of it like this, and the den in the bottom was on this left side too, but because it was a Queen Anne style, it had that turret, or that like three-sided window that jutted way out, so the living room went way far in, and my cat Samantha used to go in there, turn around, and lay down and nap in the living room. And I have a picture of her doing that, but I did not print that out. I will use this as a journaling card. This is some of the gift wrap that I found at that awesome yard sale, and I put it on cardstock. This will make a great journaling card. And then here I will put all my pictures of all the Santa presents and Mom and Dad presents and Grandma and Grandpa presents. And I'll write on the back of each of them. So that's it. Oh, thank you so much for joining me today for hashtag December Weekly. It was super fun to share some more of my memories with you. I hope some of the things that I said resonated with you and maybe brought back memories of things from your childhood, especially if you grew up in the 80s. Special times, and I love being able to write them down and remember them for the future. But I hope all of you have a lovely week. Thank you so much for support of my channel and subscribing and commenting. I love reading your comments. Thank you for supporting my shop. The eclectic journals seem to be well received and people are liking them, and that makes me so happy. I'll probably do more of those in the future. Oh look, I forgot to use this. I have to find a place to tuck that. I'll put it right here. But yeah, I'm excited for things that I'm going to be working on next. I need to sit down and make a list of sort of like a hierarchy list of what I really want to work on next. There's a couple of challenges that I want to work on, like self-imposed challenges that have been, like tutorials have been put out on YouTube for, and so I'll probably bring you along for those. And like I said in a previous video, I kind of want to do a crash course new to journaling mini series, and so I've started sort of brainstorming that and what that would look like. And I'm excited because for those people who don't know what it is yet, or are kind of on the fence of whether or not they want to start it, that's kind of how I felt at the beginning. I was more overwhelmed than anything, but still inspired, and I wanted to gather as much information as I could. And so I kind of want to give back because of all the wonderful people on YouTube who got me going at the very beginning. And there are too many to name, but I love them all, and I still go back and watch some of their tutorials even now because, you know, things fall out of your head. But again, thanks for joining me for this layout. It was super fun. I love doing collages. You should try it sometime with vintage gift wrap. It's just so fun. And I will see you guys in the next video.